So Mom, tell us a little bit about what it was like coming over on the boat, the Volendam.
Oh, yeah. It was an old boat.
You don't want to go back on that boat.
It was rough. It was rough because there was always storms, of course, at the end of October.
Mm-hmm.
But we weren't. I wasn't scared anyway, and I wasn't sick, so
Yeah, you were lucky.
that was a plus. I don't think Shirley was sick, neither Barbara was. She was up. And that was cold.
Yeah.
In those days you didn't have hot warm clothes neither.
No. It wasn't a luxury liner.
No, and you didn't have your own room neither. I don't know how many people slept in the bottom of the boat. It was all women but kids.
Mm.
Some of them were pretty sick. There was 3 beds. They were, I bet you were 1.5 feet. You lay
That's how
there
high they were.
and you were flat. So I held on to the side because it was just canvas sewn over a piece of steel.
The bed was canvas?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, you didn't.
It wasn't a cot. It
No.
wasn't even a cot. It was a hammock, basically.
Yeah, that's all it was. It was, yeah, and it was even. But then after the first night, there was a little hollow in it, so you were okay. You didn't have to hold on to the bars there because you couldn't. Well, you could flip out of it, but that was it. Yeah, it was small, and there were so many people in there. I should look it up, and you have a book like from the. To all our children,
Yeah.
well, it should say it on the piece about the Volendam, it should say it how many people
Were in there.
slept in there, and the showers just had a curtain in front of it with all showers lined up. Well, one big wave and you flew out of there. So we never took a shower again.
No.
We went there the first day, I think. That was the end of that. You just wash your face and wash your hands and that's it. I don't think we changed clothes. We didn't have the suitcases there neither. I don't know what
They were probably no. How long were you on that boat?
I think it was 9 days.
9 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we ended up in Halifax.
Yeah. Pier 21.
Pier 21, yeah. It's nice now, then time. Yeah. We got off of the boat in the afternoon through immigration, and then we could go for a walk, but we slept on the boat yet that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Shirley and I went. It was all dirt. With dirt roads, there was no regular roads in here.
Yeah.
Not where we were anyway. We walked up the hill a little ways, then came back, and we got fed on the boat and slept on it. And then the next day, the boat got ready, or the ship, I should call it, I guess, back to Holland. They were starting to break it apart, whatever they could, because, it never went again. That was the last trip it made. I thought it went to Italy for some reason or other, but no.
Just back to Holland.
Really?
It was just done. They took the soldiers from Holland to India. That's the kind of boat it was. Yeah, it was awful. There were cabins on there, but we stopped in Le Havre in France. Was that France? Or Germany. The Germans came on board there, and they had the cabins. Yes.
Oh.
They probably, I don't know, paid extra for that, I don't know. But, so then we got on the train. Well, that was another experience. It never really bothered me, but we slept on wooden benches. You sat on wooden benches
In the train.
in the train
And you took the train from Halifax to
to Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah. And then we got a nice train to go to Chatham. But we thought, because we went to Chatham, that was where that train went, right? So that morning we didn't get washed up, neither. Beppa had one of those doodle things in the back of her hair, and when at night she took it out when she went to bed. It was down to her fanny, and that's how she got off of the train because we all had to get off of the train there, but we didn't know that. So that was not funny. But anyway, we got, the Red Cross was there, and we got treated to drinks and cookies, and then we got put on another train to Chatham,
Oh.
Yeah.
which was a nice train, and we didn't feel clean either anymore.
We hadn't had a wash in how long by then?
3 weeks.
And more
Two-
than that, it
two-
was going on.
Good grief.
9 days, 10, 12 days. Yeah.
And who
And we were so tired that we were falling asleep, and then there was people on that train. That was just a passenger train. That was
Yeah.
not an immigrant train. They kept telling us something, but we didn't know what they were saying because we couldn't understand or nor speak English. Well, then they came over. One of them came over and pushed the button in this back, and we could kind of lay down and rest. So then that farmer was there when George to pick us up. So that was 4, there were 6 people in the car. I guess, yeah, that works 3 and 3 because you could have 3 in the front
Yeah.
seat too. And we stayed at that farmer's place till the big box came with furniture and they, but yeah, we saw things there, and Shirley and I, we had quite a few laughs. Not loud because we didn't get looks from that, but we had never seen really a rocking chair.
right?
And here after supper, because they fed us, that lady cooked for us, whistling away. And then after supper, I think we all helped with the dishes, and then they sat each in a rocking chair, and we sat there because they had TV, so we were going to watch TV. And both of them were rocking away where Shirley and I took one look at each other. And we went to our room, get the dirty look from them, because we didn't know what to do with ourselves. So then there we saw this, the prettiest little box. Actually, it was a music box, but we didn't know that. We didn't have a clue. So of course, me, I have to pick the lid up, and there it started to play music out there. It was giggling again. Closed it so fast. Oh my God. Yeah. But anyway, I think we stayed. I don't know. Was it a week later?
Yeah.
All that stuff came. But I was there for 3 weeks. It was out in the country. Shirley hated it. Oh my God, poor girl. Anyway, I got a job after 3 weeks, and I was in Chatham, and was there to, well, that summer, coming summer, I worked out in the field, and then I went back to the job I had in Chatham, and I liked it there. There was 2 little kids, so pick up the language and
What were their
little
names again?
songs. Wally and Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dawn. And then they had another one. While I was there, it was Judith. Yeah. So that was nice because I learned all the baby songs and little stories and all that. So that helped me when I had you kids.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we went to Shirley and I did go to school that first winter, the second winter. And for English. It was just for the winter months.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so that was
Where was that?
in Chatham.
In Chatham?
Too, yeah. Yeah, she got a job in Chatham too. So. And it was always, most of them all had jobs as looking after kids and looking after the house. I had to cook. I had never cooked. I guess I could fry potatoes. That's what I would do at home, fry some potatoes. But that's as far as it went. Then I had to cook for while the baby was, what was he, 9 months old, the little one. The little boy was 2.5. So the little girl, I think, was baby food she got. I don't remember that. But I had to cook for her and her husband, fry meat.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even know what the meat was. And then, oh my God, the language was, I guess, the hardest really. It took 6 months before I could go to bed without a headache. But they all talked to me. She had her own beauty shop at the house, and she had 2 girls working for her, 2 women. And they would come in and have their lunch in the kitchen too when we were eating. And they always talked, so you had to
Mm.
learn quickly, or else you'd be lost.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, that was it. Good. And I don't like to hear myself talking.
And did you and Ulrika always, because you spoke Frisian at first, but did you change to English or?
Yeah.
At some point.
Well, because of the kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when we started to have the kids, we decided, well, Ulrika thought they should learn the Frisian language.
Oh.
No, I forget what it was on the train. We were waiting for the train, and Lee and Paul were, probably had Ron already too. No, I don't think so. Anyway, so I said in the Frisian, the train. Oh, don't teach them those words in a train, say train, because we did speak English to each other.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Oh.
I'll say, Mom and Dad spoke Frisian when we were not supposed to know.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
They thought we didn't.
Language.
They thought we didn't know what they were saying, but.
Yeah. Myself, I knew we did for the grandchildren, and we took them for a ride or something, and I said to them, oh, we could stop for an ice cream. But
Oh, yeah.
doesn't really want you, then it's already too late.
Yeah.
So I would say that Frisian. They, oh, why are you speaking French? And actually, with brother now, he's father of 2 girls himself. Yeah, it's so we found it actually easier to speak English. And
Yeah.
if I worked, well, I didn't work when the kids were little. I was just telling Ron about that tonight. I said all I did the odd time was clean somebody's house for $5. But they take that.
Oh yeah.
Now $20 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, an afternoon or a morning or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was too hard to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
The first 5 were born pretty quick together. Then we had less.
And the lesson came.
Oops.
He was quite a girl and still is.
I can still hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, but it's so nice to be here, like and hear kind of all the stories from the family.
There was no phones then.
Did you know that he was coming?
Yeah, but didn't know. Just I knew he was going to come by plane, and what day he was. Actually, he left right on his birthday. When I read a paper there, somebody put up all about Rick. Have you seen that in the bedroom? Anyway, so today I read it. I don't know if it was just put up or not, but I thought, well, I wonder what it says. Well, it says there, that dad came at the age of 22. No, he came on his 23rd birthday.
Oh.
He left there. He left there. He didn't arrive here on the 23rd because that was an
Well, he came in
18-hour flight.
53, right? He came in 53.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
because he was born in 30, so
Yeah.
he'd been 23.
Yeah.
If he came on the May 10th.
and that was an 18-hour flight, and it was 18 hours in the air you were. And at one time he said, you know, that don't seem right that it took that long.
Well, he had to
But it
pedal that
did.
plane.
Yeah. So there is a little black book he had, little notebook, and it's all in there. It's still here someplace, probably in one of the.
Because he had to hopscotch, eh? Because he had to take off, and then he had to land in
Yeah, I
Iceland
did.
or something, or someplace. And he had to land
Yeah.
in Gander,
Yeah,
and
and from Gander they went to Montreal.
yeah.
Yeah, funny, eh? That
Yeah.
they,
Well, those planes couldn't go far, right? Because they were not.
no.
They didn't carry that much fuel.
And they didn't go that fast neither,
No,
I
no,
guess,
no,
because it was definitely 8 hours in the air
Yeah.
without stopping.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. Well, the-
time was all in there too. Then from Montreal he came by train to Chatham. And I didn't know what time he was going to arrive. I had been to the station a couple of times, and then finally we got a telegram. And it was in the middle of the night that he arrived there, and Phyllis went with me. Like before that, I'd walked
yeah,
there,
yeah.
and but then no, she says I'm going with you. So yeah, then he came
So
off
did
the
you-
plane, and Jeff and Toast
Mhm.
came on. They traveled the whole way together. They sat in the plane
Mhm.
together, and we never visited a whole lot, but we did see each other off and on just before he passed away.
Seven Toast, you mean?
Yeah.
I
They
never
lived
go
here
there.
in Chatham.
Yeah,
They
oh, I've never gone there.
and they were introduced already at the immigration bureau in Holland because both of them were going to the same place. So I said, you know, I should introduce you. Maybe you could sit together. And that's what they did. They sat together the whole time.
So
So-
you were here already 2 years, right? Before Dad came.
Yeah, a year and a half.
Mhm.
It was
But
not
so did you ask Dad to come, or did you know he was coming?
I
or-
knew he was coming, yeah.
But
Yeah,
you-
that was already decided when I left.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Dad ended up no job, and then definitely he was gonna come here, but then it was like, okay, if you get a job right away, I'll come back. But I didn't, he came here, and the day he came, he got the papers to come to Canada. He was offered a job at that dairy
Yeah.
factory again.
Yeah, but that was.
But that was his dad who.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
didn't. His dad didn't want him to
Yeah,
come.
But anyway, yeah, it's and I really we never looked back.
No, but I
It
was
wasn't
never, I was
easy,
never
Dad
clear
worked
how
hard.
long you knew each other.
Oh, we knew each other.
I knew you lived in the same village and all that because you were like a stone's throw away, but
We were going out,
there.
yeah, but I wasn't supposed to go with him because he was,
Trouble.
and he was that much older, right?
Yeah.
4.5 years.
Yeah.
Well, at that age, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah, and but in the end, that was okay.
Yeah.
And if I may pipe in,
Yes.
he also wrote letters.
Yeah, I heard that. I never saw them. Did you read them?
Nope.
No.
I'm lucky because Dad I burned mine before he came to Canada.
Because it
Because
was
you couldn't
take
take a lot of stuff with you.
with all that perfume on him, he probably lit right up. Huh?
Yeah, but I kept Dad's. Yeah,
Yeah, I see what you
because
mean.
they came here, I didn't have to throw them away,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Dad didn't want to leave them behind. Nobody could read mine, his letters, and we wrote each other twice a week.
Whoa.
And they're all numbered.
Did you know this? They're all, you numbered them?
They were all, we started from number 1, the second letter was 2, twice a week. Then, and I don't remember which
So-
number it was, didn't get a letter.
So what number did you get to? 180?
No, more than that, I think.
Holy moly!
I really,
Thank
I
goodness
don't
for
know,
telephone.
I would have to look at, well, it was twice a week, so figure it out.
Well, you know, think about this. I'll tell you, like I was trying to teach Dad how to do email, right? When you first got your first computer in the house.
Oh,
And I was
I
showing him how
thought
to do
that all of
no,
that.
I was showing him how to do the email. And this is a quote from Pop. And I'm showing him and he's sitting there and he says, what the hell do I want to do this for? He says, I wrote letters forever. I wrote 1 million letters by hand, and now people want to send you an email, and they don't even want to wait until something happens so that you write something down and you can actually tell them something. They send you an email and they want you to respond right away, and if you just told them yesterday what happened, what else happened since yesterday? This is Dad telling me this, and I'm laughing my ass off. And he's saying, so I don't want to do email because then people want you to write back. He said, at least before I had a whole week. That's what he said. And I never realized it was that many letters.
Yeah, twice a week. Twice a week. And then one letter came, but the number from before never came. I didn't have it. So one number was skipped. I wondered why, and it came a week
Got hooked up in the
later.
mail.
It didn't have Chatham on there.
Oh,
It had everything else, Grand Avenue East.
but he didn't put
Number?
Chatham on it.
No.
That's probably back before postal codes and everything.
No, the postal codes, no. And now you wonder, because how many Chathams?
I know exactly what happened. Somebody in Toronto said, oh, that's that Dutch girl down there. That's probably for her. He sends letters twice a week for the last 15 years.
Montreal, and they came to Montreal, and then from there they were saying, well, and that's what
I
I
never knew he
said.
wrote that many letters. That explains why he had this verbiage
Yeah.
that came out of him. And I mean, he said it just like that. It wasn't.
Yeah, he did.
It wasn't a long thought out thing. He just said, "There's no way I'm doing that.
No, well,
I'm not doing that."
neither one wanted to write letters after that. Once he wanted to write letters, but we
Well,
did.
that's pretty dedicated, though. That's pretty dedicated.
That's love.
Yeah, I guess it is. Dedication, because love isn't always dedication. Dedication is a separate thing from love.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah,
It belongs
there's a
right.
lot of people that love people, but they're not dedicated.
Then it's not real love.
Yeah, you didn't watch Forrest Gump, did you? Forrest Gump, that's what it's all about, dedication and love. And they're two different things. People don't understand what Forrest Gump is about. Forrest
Yeah,
Gump,
I
Forrest
watched
Gump, the
that
guy
one.
Forrest Gump is a simple man. He's a very simple man. But his dedication in his, whether it was to the shrimp industry or to running or to whatever, his dedication is true. And the girl that he loved him, but she was not dedicated. She was dedicated to nothing, and that's why her life was what
As
it
it
was.
was.
And that's what Forrest Gump is about. People miss that. Anyway, nothing to do with
Yes.
this.
Anyway, yeah.
That's
So,
Except that Dad is not Gump.
so that's what I said. So because I think at that time they were hand sorted, probably. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I mean, how many letters came from overseas? Maybe a lot. I don't know.
Well, I bet you in those days there were tons of letters because there'd be letters going to servicemen because there was people all over the place for the first time, right? Well, even the First World War, I don't know how many people stayed, but the mass migration overseas
Was
in the
all at that
50s
time.
was huge,
Yeah.
huge, man.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness. One of the
That
questions
was
I
just-
asked Mom the other day was how those people in Ukraine feel, because you lived through that,
But I was a little kid, and those little kids, not the little ones. You don't see them worried that much. They have mom, even if dad isn't there, they have mom. And that's all. For me, for dad, it was a different story because dad was 10 years old when the war started. I was 6. So when you were scared at night because you heard them planes coming, they just sound like a big bumblebee coming, and it gets louder and louder and louder. And you just jump in bed with mom. Because they save you. Not even knowing, maybe little ones know more because they see a lot of things on TV, right? But we didn't even have a radio. There was very few people who had a radio. My grandparents did down the road, but that we were the only ones I knew. So you didn't hear anything really bad, but you were scared. But you had mom, so that's all you needed. Man, she could save you. Really?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
that's as a little kid, that's
How you think?
how you think and how you really feel.
Well, you keep your
Look
walls
at kids who are scared of the thunder and they come and sit with you. And I mean, they might be scared, but they feel safe because nothing is going to happen, right? They can save you no matter what. But when you're older, it's a whole different story. Like Dad has a whole different thing. He really does. Well, we really don't talk about it.
No, he never talked about it
But
much.
Dad never talks about it. But he saw more things, those kids, and it was for 5 years. So they're
15 years old.
yeah, when
At the
it
end
was
of it,
over.
and the worst of it was the last 2 years.
And it was 2 years later when Uncle Paul got home. 2 years after the war, before he got out of the Russian zone. He ended up, when they built the wall, he ended up in the Russian zone. And that's what he said, what they're saying now. They're raping. Women, little kids, whatever. That's what he said then. The first words were, are there any Russians here? He said to Dad opened the door because that wasn't there anymore. But when you came in the back door, there was a hallway and there was a, what do you call it, water in the ground. You got out there,
yeah.
and then there was a bedstead. And him and Uncle Richard slept in there. And on both sides had doors to open it up. Anyway, he knocked on the back door, and it was Dad who went and answered the door because they were right there. He woke up, but there was Uncle Paul. That's the first words out of his mouth. Are there any Russians in Riedstra? Because he always they are animals, and that's what those people are. I mean, how can they shoot at
I don't know.
yeah, it's just.
It's hard to watch in this day and age, like you were saying, that when you didn't have any news because nobody had hardly a radio, let alone a television or a Facebook or
they
any of
weren't
that.
there.
So you don't know what's going on other than what
What
people are telling you.
Yeah.
But now, the whole world can watch what's going on there, and what we do, we sit and we watch it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's really unbelievable that this happens.
Well,
Again,
even
yeah.
when I watch the news and the news makes nice headlines on the news and it's a business to tell you what's going on in Ukraine, like it's almost past needing to know so you can do something to just entertainment. That's what gets me. That's where the pins hit you, is that you're watching it and the news isn't presented to you as this is what happened today, matter of fact, and this is what's going to happen, this is what we're going to do. It's just they just keep telling you what's happening.
I know, and it keeps on and on, over and over.
But,
Yeah.
so I always told, well, I only have one granddaughter, but I've always told the women in my family, personal family, that they come from a long line of tough women. Me too.
Yeah, there's my mother was and Baba, her mother, she she was a lovable lady. She was funny, and she talks, and she loved to talk to people, and she never really went any place. She would go on a bus to come to the church or something. But yeah, she even went on a motorbike. Really, that was her youngest son had a motorbike. And yet, to us, she was always old, right? And they always wore black. But yeah,
This is your mom's mom.
yeah. She had, because there was no such thing as insurance or any of that stuff, right? And she had Tante Griet, Jacob and Tante Griet. She was 2 years old, and my mother was 7 months old when her husband smothered to death, his brother and some other ones in a ship.
In that boat.
In that
With
boat,
the kerosene heater.
And it was so cold, and they had picked up turf, like that stuff I have there. And they had to go through the lock. And so they kept him inside of the lock. The guy, he said, I'll leave you here, and then tomorrow morning I'll
Put you
let you
through.
out. And it was so cold that every little hole in the little hut that they were in sleeping, they
Plugged it up.
plugged it up. That did them in.
And the heater ate up all the oxygen.
And there was no,
Not to mention the carbon monoxide.
yeah, and the man who was gonna let them,
Go through.
get out of there, found them. And there was no money, they didn't have nothing. They got picked up by a horse and wagon and laid the bodies on there. And that's how they
Took them away.
took them to,
The cemetery or
well, I think they always would bury them in the ground as far as, in a wooden box.
Mm.
Yeah, but there she is, no income, no nothing, and that's when she married, which we always thought was our grandfather. He had, I think, 5 boys, 4 or 5 boys, and his wife had died, so he needed somebody, and that happened in those days all the time. They marry somebody with kids too.
Yeah.
And then they had some more kids. There was a lot of kids there. I think they had 14 or 16 or so. Yeah, all together.
Yeah,
like.
yeah. But
I bet
hey,
that some of
in
them
those
didn't
days, you
make
needed the help.
Yeah. He needed somebody to look after his kids. While he worked, he had a little farm. He had some cows. From what I remember, and she needed
The place.
a place to stay and to feed. They always had good meals there, but yeah, he was a tough, yeah.
Hmm.
And to top it off, the cow, when he was milking a cow, hit him with his tail, the cow's tail, and it wasn't that clean, I guess, and he,
Had infection.
well, whatever happened, I don't know, but he had a black patch on his one eye, so that looked scary too, right?
Well, I got to tell that to Lennon that his great-great-grandfather is a pirate.
Yeah, oh my God. And but Beth and my mom's mom, she was such a lovable person, yeah, see,
I had a hard time drinking the water.
Oh, because it tastes different.
Well, yeah, there's no taste to the water. Not at
No.
when I left. And here, if you're out in the country, instead of ever house you're at, it might be different taste of water.
Yeah, definitely.
Some might be really salty. We were in one place, And the water was so salty that if you boil potatoes, you better not put salt in the water.
Oh. Wow.
It was, and it was country. Not when I lived in China. I guess it didn't bother me, but when we lived
It was
out.
kind of well water, right?
Friends of ours went to Holland, and then when they came back, they went there for 3 months. And they couldn't leave their little place empty, with nobody living in it. So
Oh, yeah.
And the one we were in was such a little old house, it didn't happen to
No.
the people. So when they came back, I said, "Hey, where's my water?" And they said, "Really? Did you mean it?" I said, "Yeah."
Oh, no.
Now I don't remember if I thought of it when we went back to Holland that the water tasted really good there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then I guess I was over it.
Or the memory that it was good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just young enough that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found everything quite interesting here.
Yeah. But yeah, it's impressive to move at such a young age.
Yeah, it's I want any of my kids to do it. And every time one of them turned 17, I
Yeah?
Oh. Yeah.
Now with English it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Where that time it was like
Yeah. Yeah, no internet.
it with an aunt, an uncle, and a daughter, but that didn't last long. That's
Ah, okay.
that was different.
So you were all like you were just alone then, no family.
No, there was nobody.
Yeah.
And when we came here, I was only with them for 3 weeks, and then I was in Chatham,
Oh?
and I could go home every other week for a Saturday night till the Sunday night.
Mhm.
I did that because their daughter ended up finally getting a job in Chatham, and we in church.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, nothing happens in Canada, you know, that's,
So people thought anyway. Yeah.
Girl.
go by the bus, but the bus is, yeah, I don't know, that was hard too, that we walked to the highway and then waited till the bus came.
Yeah?
I know I hitchhiked once by myself,
Wow.
had to go towards Waldsburg and out into the country. I got picked up by a young man. I haven't got a clue how old he was. I know he was older than I was, but he asked me where I had to go. So it was the 15th concession, they called it. And he turned into a road way, way ahead of that. And I thought, God, where is she taking me? That was the first winter I was here. So I, as well as I could get it out and make him understand, that's not where I live. And now I know that was the 5th. So when I was the 15th, I didn't
He
say.
heard fifth or whatever.
Right.
And he knew his way around there because he says, "Oh, that's okay, because there's other roads that go that way again."
Yeah.
And, but I had to go back to that highway because my aunt and cousin were going to walk down there, which was 3-4 months.
God.
And they were going to meet me at the bus there, so I wouldn't be out there at that time.
Yeah.
So he went back to the highway, but he gave me heck, maybe not heck, but I know he told me that I should never ever hitchhike. And I said, they're good people. And, no, he
Yeah.
says. And I said, he was a good guy.
Yeah.
And I had asked him his name, I never did. you're too trusting, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
And bothered him probably this young girl. Up there in the country, I mean, he was all right. He wasn't going to do nothing, but you don't know who you were going with.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So anyway, I did it.
Yeah.
So guess he did get it through to me that I
Yeah.
should not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think we can start.
Okay.
That's okay, because we edit.
Wow.
So-
What did she say?
What's
I'm supposed to go
We're allowed to talk.
Live.
We can tell.
Live.
We're action.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
So, Mother,
know what.
I would wish to ask you some questions of the old country.
That's a long time ago, Calvin.
Well,
I've
maybe
been
you
here,
still-
I don't know how many more years than I lived in Holland. And those first ones, you don't remember, right?
well,
When
probably
I was a
not.
baby.
No.
I know I was a little stinker, but
How old do you remember back to of any memories?
a long, long ways.
Yeah.
I guess I
five,
was,
6.
no, I was younger than that.
Okay.
They had, the street we lived on, they had a boat.
Okay.
One that you would put hay in, get it from one of the little islands. They were just little islands. And they would put boards in there and we'd go for a boat ride. And I remember that, and when I told my mom this, she couldn't believe it. And I told her exactly where we went, and I don't know if you and Lydia remember the hotel on the little lake going to Leeuwarden. No, it's so long ago. Well, you rode by it with your bicycle when you and Ron went to Leeuwarden. Anyway, we went there and we all got something to drink, which was a big thing in those days. And people were dancing, and Mom and Dad. So this was when my dad was still alive. They were dancing together, and in my mind, that's how you got
yeah.
married. That's how you
Yeah.
married somebody,
Yeah.
is when you danced together.
Oh,
Yeah.
Something, eh?
Stupid. So I always said I was at Mom and Dad's wedding.
Oh, cool.
So, and we came back, and that was the biggest thrill, and I think maybe I was 4 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that is, I can see us in the boat, and it was all the people who lived on that little road
Oh, jeez.
who did this. And I think it was only once, because I can only remember doing that once. But yeah, you didn't do those things.
No.
No.
So I don't know how come we did, but
You were special?
we were all
See, I
special.
told you it was all about you.
All the ones who lived on that road, there was more kids. So they were
Oh,
kids
so-
we played with all the time. That's the only as far as we got, till we got a little bit.
Was one of those kids Rick?
No,
Nope.
no.
That was later on in your life?
Yeah, not that much later. But I was, I think, 10, 11, something like that. And
You met them?
you knew everybody.
Yeah.
And,
Freaky.
then I became friends with Dad's sister.
Oh, okay.
At what age did you meet Dad?
I already said that. That is something I don't really remember neither. It seems I've known him ever
Do you-
since I can remember things.
Do you remember the war, like as a young girl,
Yeah.
or how young were you at the time when the war started?
6. I was going to be 6. The war started on Dad's birthday.
Oh, no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So you're saying Dad started the war?
No, but I should tell you, he had gotten a belt for his birthday. And he turned 10. And he got to school and he told the boys there, he says, you know, I won't be wearing this belt that much longer because the Germans will come and get it. Have you never heard that story before?
No.
Yeah, that's the story that I don't know him. I wasn't there because I didn't go to the same school. But yeah, Dad has said that often. He said how stupid it.
For him to think that.
Yeah, that's what he thought. He was not.
They're going to come and get it.
Yeah.
Who was your best friend in Holland?
Tanakni. Dad's sister.
Dad's sister.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And Dad's name was Riedstra. Riedstra. How did you get that?
His grandfather, he's named after his grandfather, his mom's dad. And I just found out Uncle Dirk in BC called for Dad's birthday. And he was telling me that I knew he was named after him. That's how they did things. You always knew if it was a boy or a girl what name it was going to have. The boy was going to be named after the husband, the father's father.
Yeah.
It would be a girl and be after the mother's
grandmother.
Yeah. No, the mother's mother.
Mother.
Yeah. And then vice versa. Whatever.
So you were named after your grandmother?
Yes. Yes. And she just lived down the road from us. We were lucky they lived there. But anyway, what was I talking about, Dad? Oh, yeah. And he was not a very tall man. There should be a picture somewhere. Should check with Leslie, see. Because it probably has...
His dad was...
that was his dad's
father. His grandfather, yeah.
And he would have been about the same size as Dad. He was not a very big man either. And he lived to be 93.
93.
Yeah. 93.
And Dad's what, 92?
Yeah. He lived in the end with his mom and dad. He lived there, but that was... I don't know, Dad. He was here already. I probably passed away before that, I don't know. But, and then he was an easygoing man. His wife was tougher, I guess it's the same as Dad and me. I'm tougher than Dad. I'll be hollering at somebody.
Yeah, I'm like that too. I've got a stern voice and and it's like, Calvin will say, don't talk to the boys like that.
But
it's my tone of my voice. It's just I've had this, I can't change that stern, you know. No. It's like, hey.
Yeah, and they stopped just like that. You kids did.
Yeah. He doesn't anymore, Mom.
I know.
That's because Dad always told us not to piss you off.
And I only did it once with a couple of the grandkids at Christmas time.
Yeah.
One year, because I thought one of them, out of the three, one of them was going to get hurt because he was little. He had just started to walk. You were probably there too. Even Cheryl said, I sat up like this when I yelled. Well, the parents had said more than once, stop it, stop it.
That's
stop it, like that.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, just...
Yeah, I hear you.
So they did it again, coming from upstairs on Thomas. Yeah. Down that, down the couple of steps, turn and then down into the basement. That's cement. Chimney thing there, and the thing was not little. It was going to topple down. So they were just coming down laughing their heads off, the two older ones. Because this was funny, right? The little one didn't know.
No. Of course not.
He was just trying to
Yeah.
be with him,
He was
right?
just following the lead.
Yeah. So I just stood up and I just let it go, and they looked at me, and whoop, I thought, oh,
Yeah.
they're gonna run to the mothers. But no, they did go, but then they went into, and I told them the other part downstairs was for the kids, all the toys was there. And I said, you guys go and play or sit down. Never heard from
Yeah.
them again. Whew! I said to Paul, I said, oh, I didn't know how this was gonna work out. And Paul says, they knew they deserved it. We always knew when you used that voice.
Yeah.
So that was the end of that.
I bet it was.
But Dad never really yelled. If he did yell, they'd talk up, he'd be pretty bad.
Was your mother strict?
No, I don't think so.
Was it more your father when he was?
No, I don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember? You were young when your father passed.
Yeah, I was, I think, gonna turn 7.
Oh,
when he
were you?
passed away.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize you were that young.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And what did he pass from?
Heart problems.
That was an illness, so yeah.
Yeah.
And how old was he when he passed? Was he a young man? then?
Yes, oh, yes, yes. He was just in his 30s, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. He,
Very young then.
Very young, yeah. And yeah, we were, but some of the aunts, quite often, you didn't have room like you had
Yeah.
one room like this.
And that was
With a
everything.
table,
Yeah.
you didn't have a couch. There was
No.
always a bench for kids to sit on.
Yeah.
But they had a hospital bed in the end, and there was for that time, a
Mhm.
fair-sized window, and the bed was right in front of the window, so he could look out. But once he found out he had a heart problem, there was nothing in those days that they
No,
could do, right?
not like they can nowadays.
So then if he rode his bike to work, of course, a bump in the road seemed that he couldn't take that no more once he knew he had heart problems. Where before, I guess he didn't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was sick for quite a while. I don't know how long that he was laying there. And then, yeah, my mom had the 4 of us.
4 of you.
Tante Sjoukje, who was 10, and I was turning 7. And my broer was 5. And Tante Doet, you met her, she was 2 years old. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, other than yourself, did any of your rest of the siblings remember your dad? Remember your father?
Tante Sjoukje, the other ones don't.
Don't.
No. Tante Doet don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
Oh, my broer, no, he says he does not
Yeah.
remember. But then his mom and dad just lived 2 houses down
Okay.
from us, and there was the 3 boys. They were bachelors. They weren't really that old neither, but they used to have on my broer the pater with my brother was kind of named after. Or not really, not him. Anyway, he would go with Grandpa doing things. So they kind of took over, and then Mom married one of those boys.
Oh, okay.
After that, yeah. And he passed away. Oh God, that's a long time ago. That was just before Ron was born. Ron is going to be, so that's 65 years ago that he passed away, yeah. So then she came here for a trip after that. When I was here 11 years when she came. And then I didn't think nothing of her if she ever wanted to get married again, met somebody. Oh, no, she says.
2 was enough?
And she didn't.
Oh, did she?
Yes,
Oh,
she did
gosh.
marry.
3?
3 times.
Good
yes,
for her.
Yes, yeah. And he's been here with her quite a few times. 4
Oh,
times.
yeah?
4 times, maybe.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
That was Parker that always did it.
yeah, Pakian. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why didn't you like to be called Beppa?
Beppers are old.
So I'm old?
And Beppers always wore black.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well, I don't wear black.
No, so you're
I'm
outside.
I'm the modern
Yeah.
Beppa.
Yeah. In my eyes, and they always
Oh,
had
really?
the gray hair with the
Not at top.
yeah
The bun.
long hair, and it was always turned around in a little doodle thing up there. But the Beppers were great, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was your question there?
Well, it says here to ask about Dad's mom and how good of a
Oh,
cook she is.
Beppa, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Lydia is named after both Beppers.
Oh, are you?
Not the Dutch name because what can
Short form.
you change it?
Yeah.
Just keep the first letter the same. Lydia is after my mom,
Okay.
which is Lucia. Now can you
Lucia?
Lucia.
Lucia.
I can't even talk English.
And Judith is Yaukia.
Okay.
Just kept the same. Figured we weren't going to have any more girls anyway.
And you did.
So Leslie, who's Leslie named after? Nobody.
I just like that name. That girl was a young girl, was in the hospital when she was
Oh,
born.
okay.
She had just gotten married and she had problems, pain. And her name was Leslie, and it was written the way Leslie's name was written. And Renee was just something that seemed to go with it.
And Calvin?
Now this guy,
Who's he named after?
he didn't have a name for a week after I was home. Dad had to, he says, I don't know. You have to be home. I have to hold him and I'll know what to call him. And it became Calvin. John is after Grandpa McGee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Calvin.
And my
we just
brother
like
is
Calvin.
middle John, and he's named after my father, is John. And that's where he got his.
Grandpa McGee's not really my grandpa, but he was a grandpa.
Yeah, well, that was,
Those are the special ones.
yeah, he was a nice.
Yeah.
He was tough. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh.
Oh, I already know that. Where did
Tell you about the
where
goat
did you go to
wagon.
school? And at what grade did you go to?
7. I went up to 8th grade, and then I went to Leeuwarden to take a course in hairdressing, and I was there for 2 years, which was kind of crazy because
At 7.
Grade
No, no.
7.
Oh, after grade 7.
Yeah.
After grade 7.
14,
I was going to say.
14. You had to be 14 to work.
Oh, really?
Yes, before I should say before you could work.
Ah.
And I worked and I went to school in Leeuwarden. Was wasting money. That's what I did. We didn't finish Beppa's. Beppa, Dad's mom, she was smart. She could talk about anything. Birds, trees, politics, whatever. And
She had the
was-
brains for it.
Yeah. She passed away at the age of 92.
So both his parents lived very well in their
The
ages.
women did,
Yeah.
yeah. Dad passed away when he in his 80s, something like that. I have to find those cards that I have. But yeah, she was happy. She didn't have it easy with 9 kids.
Yeah, no,
That would not be easy.
No.
No, and that was in one room too.
Yeah, yeah.
But you didn't have a nice couch to sit on
No,
either. You
no. I
sat on-
remember stories.
And everybody
Yep.
wanted to go there on Sundays.
Isn't that something, eh?
Everybody took a friend home with them. I don't know how she fed them because it was bad time.
Okay.
No,
We have to wrap this up.
no, you
Yeah.
can just say about Grandpa's cooking. And
Oh, yeah, but Dad
Yeah.
was how Dad was going to do it because that's the way his mom cooked meat. I don't know why. I was sick. He was gonna cook, and that was on the river road there, and he had a frying pan with water in it, and it was on the stove. He turned it on because he could cook other things, potatoes and vegetables. Well, he says, I'm going to boil the meat in there. Nice piece of meat. I said, you what? He says, well, I boil it in the water. That's how my mom did meat. I said, I don't thank you, Mother. I'm not, never cooked anything when I lived in Holland. But I said, I know that's not how they cook meat. They fry it. They really fry it up nice. They have a special pan for it, and they brown it in a half a pound of butter and a half a pound of lard.
Mm-hmm.
They brown that first together, and then the meat goes in there, and of course it's got seasoning on it. And they keep flipping it over, and then they add a little bit of water after it's nice
Yeah.
and brown.
Just
Oh no, that's not how my mother did it. She boiled it. I said, okay, forget about the meat. I will do the meat. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been tough.
Good. Oh.
So anyway, we made it and we were happy we did it.
Yeah.
And when you young and in those days, not really body, there wasn't really a whole lot of things in Holland either in those days.
Mm.
When I worked at hairdresser,
Mm-hmm.
I started off at $4.50 $4, $4, and then my mom said to me, she would pay for my clothes and everything. We didn't have to pay room and board. But then, and she would, if I gave her my money, she would give me a little bit of spending money and buy my clothes and stuff. And no, I want to job because and I was not really a safe either. The winter time, the weather was bad. I worked in Leeuwen,
Uh-huh.
so on your bike, and it's always windy, and it rains a lot. And in those days, anyway, oh my God, you didn't have the right rain clothes.
Oh no. Yeah.
Anyway, I had to go on the bus. Well, she said, I'll pay your bus ticket. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, it must have been weird for your parents when you left as well.
Yeah, but you know something? I didn't know that at the time, but they thought I was going to be back home
Yeah?
within a year.
Oh, really? They told you that later.
Yeah, she told me years later, yeah. Well, she came here, Marito and I went to Holland first. I don't think she mentioned it to me.
Mm.
It's when, no, she had been here. I was here 11 years when my stepfather had passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and she came for 3 months.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
So there again, I'll tell you what she told. She says, later on, she said that, that I only had $100 when I came to you. She said, but it was $1. You had to pay four gulden for
Yeah.
$1.
Oh.
Those days, yeah. You got $1.
Wow.
The dollar was really high.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she came with $100, and she says, really. She had never been on a holiday. In those days, a lot of people, they didn't,
No.
especially when she must have been in the
Yeah.
They just didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then she came, and here she said, and here I went for 3 months with $100. She spent all the $100
Yeah. I'm sure.
on whatever. She even bought herself a dress yet here too.
Oh yeah.
But I said, well, you didn't need no money because she didn't have to pay us for it.
Right.
But
And did she came by plane?
yeah, she came back there. And, I think she came first class, which she didn't even realize herself. But she came with my KLM.
Oh yeah.
And left it in Montreal, but it couldn't land in Toronto.
Oh.
So in Montreal, she had to change to Air Canada.
Oh.
So the time was on her ticket and everything. She couldn't speak or understand.
No.
Oh wow.
Anyway, she had, she got to where she had to go. They probably took her there from the KLM to the park where the Air Canada was. And then they called out for Toronto, so she said, well, I'm going to Toronto.
Mm.
So she went, and apparently she's supposed to wait for the next plane, but in those days it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
It was paid for, so they let her on, and somehow or other this couple, they were Canadians, they didn't speak Dutch, but they realized somebody better stay with her when the plane in Toronto. We were going to pick her up, but she could always say it either in the Dutch language, which wouldn't have been that great neither,
No.
Right.
but it would be mostly Frisian.
Oh wow.
Oh, when Rachel and I got there, we had Lydia with us. She was just about a year old. And I was going to go comb my hair yet. It was messy. And all of a sudden, Nicola said, well, you don't have time to look there. You must fit right there. And I didn't know because what she looked like. Well, she was quite
Yeah.
I should have known that. Anyway, she had a little bit of lipstick and all that, which was a big surprise. But this couple was still with her, and they were so happy
Oh.
that we were there and everything was going to be all right. So, and here again, you don't take their name, you just thank them. Later on, you think, well, it would have been nice if
Yeah.
yeah. No. But anyway.
Yeah.
It was really nice of them, probably told them that they stayed.
Yeah.
But nothing bothered my mom anyway. She would have just stayed forever and thought, well, the kids will find me somewhere.
And then she stayed with you for 3 months. Wow. Wait, and how many kids did you have at that point?
Then we had the 5 kids.
5 kids, right?
No, 4. 4.
Okay.
It was Liam, Paul, Ron, and Lydia.
Right. Okay.
After that, we had Calvin. And then 9 years after we had Calvin, we had Lisa.
Yeah.
And is never Lisa. She had all the toys.
Yeah.
Sure, it's very heavy.
Yeah, he likes to complain about that.
It's always Leslie's last for you.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it was him who carried her around the boat.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
Oh, really?
He was like my second dad.
Oh. 9 years older.
He was 17.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
That, yeah.
Girlfriend and everything, yeah. We had 2 records. They were not discs. They were records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they played them over and over and over again. And he'd have her over his shoulder dancing and singing, and then she'd fall asleep. So when she got married, he requested wildly that song to be played. And dance with her, and she put her hand on
Oh.
Yeah, and then when his son got married, because I used to sing it to them when they were baby, he did the same thing. He had them play the song so I could dance with him.
Put the red dot on Mom's
And now
nose.
everybody,
There we go. So apparently this is,
everybody will wonder why you have a drink and I don't.
well, it's gone, so it's done. No. You didn't deserve a drink until you're done this interview.
Okay.
Okay,
Then-
so the question was, this is take 2. But, so how did you start working at the laundromat?
Because I got to know her for doing laundry there. I think I went there to dry the clothes at first in the wintertime.
Yeah, when you couldn't hang them up on the line.
Yeah.
But I remember going there and being there for like
Oh,
an
yeah.
hour or 2 maybe.
Yeah.
But you worked there, you ran.
I worked there, yeah, because she asked if I could take over for her when she had holidays.
Hmm.
And I didn't really know. She said, sure, you can do it. There's not that much to it once you know. So I did.
You take the money out of the machines and all that?
No, I didn't have to take the money out and hold it. They came every so often. But sometimes I would have to turn them on.
Show people how to use them.
Well,
And then she folded clothes too, didn't she?
yeah, and you charge people for that. Or you did the wash for them and you charged them if it was 25 cents for the machine. You charge them 25 cents.
To load it, to
to
fold it.
do it and dry it. You have to dry it, so you check add more than that, I think. But sometimes you had 4 or 5 loads of wash and then she had, for some reason or other, she had to have a toenail taken off. So then that was going to be longer. So I think that was 6 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And I asked you guys, the first time I did it, I think at the supper time table, because I said, I will need some help here. So if it's okay with you guys, I will take that job. It was only for so long anyway, at the most 6 weeks.
Mhm.
So
No, I always wondered how that happened, but I remember it wasn't.
it happened more than once that
And when did you
twice-
when did you do the thing at Eaton's? Because I remember going there as a kid.
Oh, yeah, that was horrible. Cleaning the office.
Yeah,
Maybe-
the
and
hallways.
see,
Yeah.
Yeah, they needed somebody there to clean the office. So Dad and I took that. That was a dirty factory.
Mhm.
And they would come in, and it had just started. So they would come in from the plant and walk right into the offices. There was more than one office, it was big.
Yeah.
And Dad and I started it together. but it was only supposed to be a job for one person. So it was me who was gonna go and do it. Well, that was never a job for one person. Not the way we cleaned and the way they wanted it cleaned. Horrible. And that was every night. So we gave that up. Dad didn't really want
That
to
was
do
every
that.
night?
It was every
I
night.
remember
Well,
going
5
there.
nights a week, yeah.
Yeah.
And no, that wasn't nice. See, I cleaned for the boss.
On
And that
Grandin.
was that house across, kitty corner across from you guys, that big gray house. It's still gray, I think. Long house. Across the road where Kim and Randy lived.
Oh,
And then it might have been next one or 2 houses from there. And I went there once a week to clean it. It was a big house. I think $7.50
Yeah.
pretty cheap, yeah. And, yeah,
Everything was cheap back then.
yeah, everything was cheap.
Yeah.
You guys were all in school. No, I think I took you and Calvin sometimes with me there. I think. Anyway.
Yeah, we were on the river already.
Oh yeah, we lived on the river, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. I sometimes cleaned somebody's house.
Mhm.
Actually, the one on the corner when you go from Nelson and turn to your place.
oh yeah.
You know, that house on the corner, I've cleaned it a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then, when you didn't start working at Cozy's until we lived
On the river,
on the river.
yeah. And that was only going to be for 6 weeks. Because, what's her name, the little chubby one?
Oh, I know who you
This
mean.
I was her boyfriend. She had a husband, but he always came in at noon. Yeah, it was. He was a mechanic at where you bought where Chris
Patterson's?
Patterson, yeah.
Oh,
No.
Lucy.
Lucy.
Lucy was her name.
Lucy, oh yeah.
Lucy. And what was his name? Oh,
I don't
Lydia, you should remember.
I don't.
How many years did you work there?
Oh,
2, 3?
no, about 4 or 5.
Yeah. Okay.
I started when I was 14 and I worked there till I was 20.
No.
Yes, I did. Till I finished
College?
secretary. Yeah,
Oh.
Really?
yeah, yeah.
On Sundays and
Sundays
on
and
weekends.
during the
Oh,
Just had
summer.
your history written there.
Yeah.
But then you worked at Cozy's, because I used to, when we lived on Dufferin Avenue, I would drop you off at Cozy's
Oh,
on
yeah.
Thursday mornings when I would go to Toronto. Tuesdays or Thursdays back then. I think it was Tuesdays back then, actually. And I'd drop you off at 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 5 o'clock. You had to be there for 5. And usually 5 after 5, because I used to roll out of town at 5 o'clock back then, because I'd be at Thamesville usually before 6. And I'd be downtown Toronto for 9. Back in the day when you could actually do that and get it to Toronto in the morning.
Wow.
But,
When I went
yeah.
to work myself with the car, I always parked it in IJ parking lot,
Mhm.
right? On the side there. And a cop followed me into the parking lot. Right next to me. The one coming, what the heck does he want? Well, he wondered where I was going. I'm going to. Oh, he said. He's checking up. I guess he wondered what in the heck
Yeah,
is
what you were
that
going to do.
person doing. And then one time I took a big bag of garbage. Oh my God, that was awful. And that was on Dufferin. I had threw the bag of garbage in the car. Or before I put it in the car, I picked it up and I thought, what the heck is that noise? And a mouse came out. I nearly, oh my God, what am I going to do? I think I put the bag I left it there. I thought that'll have to take care of it. I don't know if there's more in there or not. And all I could think of, if I had put that in the car, I would have put it in the front seat next to me.
Whoa!
Well,
In the car,
I would have
behind
ran
you,
off
wondering
of
what
the
you were
road. They would have found me someplace because I never took it back because it was the same garbage that we paid for. Remember, they used to come and
Oh, yeah.
that guy had a garage later on or at that time anyway. Yeah.
So-
So it didn't matter if I put it in a box.
You were at Cozy's, and then somewhere along the line you worked at the Met. Was that before Cozy's? Or after Cozy's?
After Cozy's, when
For
Lee and George sold Cozy Corners.
Yeah.
But for like a year at the Met, and then
No,
no,
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah, and I didn't have to take that job, but I wanted to because I was drawn on employment.
Yeah.
But I took it, and what a rotten job that was. That guy
Yeah.
in there, and he called me a foreigner, and that did it. I said, and while the head guy from Montreal
Mhm.
had come to talk to me and show me a few other things. And they were sitting together having a coffee. And that's what he called me. And I says, I'm a Canadian, and I'm a better Canadian than you will ever be.
Oh.
That goes on the exact words I said to him. And he looked at me, and I stayed till it was time. I was done. And I went over to him and I said, okay, this is my last day. Well, you can't do that. I didn't mean it like that. Well, I said, that was the last straw.
Mhm.
He done more things like saying to me, you shouldn't treat the help like that, like nice.
Mhm.
He says, you have to treat him like a dog. What?
Well,
I says, then you don't want me here.
now you know why the Met's not there.
No, that was all.
Did you work at the one in Zellers too? That restaurant or no? That was Cheryl
No, I
Palmer.
never worked in a restaurant there. That I couldn't stand it. And those girls in there were scared to death of him because he'd sit up in that little office in the mat store and it was right there. And it was a hard job because you walked a long ways and you never stood still or sit somewhere.
No, I remember that. 'cause
To each side.
everything was from there to there, and it was all on the wall. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
like
No,
anything was close.
yeah.
But you always had a way with putting up with crap, right? Like when you went to St. Clair, Tool and Die.
And before that, I planted tomatoes that on back of the machine at Neiman's.
Oh yeah.
And because Calvin told him, oh, Mom knows because they were looking for one more person. They said, well, Mom probably will help because she's done it lots of times. I said when he came
We
home, I
planted
said,
lots of tomatoes.
yes, but I never planted.
No, that's probably true.
No, but yeah, no.
You never sat on the planter.
No,
No.
never in my life. No. And oh my God, what a,
Oh yeah. You had to get in the rhythm
Yes.
to put them in the planter.
Yeah.
But when you went to St. Clair, the fellow there was gonna give you a nickname.
No. They asked me
Hmm.
if
No.
I wanted to be called Henry. Are you crazy? You can call me anything but Henry.
I know, but I remember you telling me the story about, because I knew Don Bortolato, he's a huge man, and the big guy, and pompous, you know, he was an okay guy,
Yeah, but no,
but
but
he would
tough.
just tell you whatever, yeah, he was tough, they were all tough there.
Yeah.
And
Oh, he stood there once, something had gone out and it wasn't right or whatever, so all the quality controls, or actually, what did they, what were we at first, when I started, I did that. It was inspection, and everything was inspected 100%, so we were all called. And we stood in a circle, and he stood there, and man, he was upset. And he says, and you know, you girls should be ashamed of yourself that you are even getting the weights. Yeah. So we all just looked at him, and nobody said a thing. I told him once, though, that we've saved him a lot of money, the factory, by cats and everything. But anyway, yeah,
I wanted to ask you still like a very important question. What if you go to Tim Hortons? What is the best donut to get? What is your favorite donut? What is Auricula's favorite donut?
I don't eat donuts.
Oh, okay.
And
Trick question.
that part, they are not just sentiment, what they bring to the beginning.
Oh.
They got worse.
No, they come in frozen.
Yeah, they do. They par bake them now, so they're not quite like they used to be.
Yeah, and the donuts actually we were used to in Walsburg was not Tim Hortons. It was a bakery.
Durfee's.
Made it years ago. Yeah, and Cozy Corners was the only restaurant who got them from the bakery. Otherwise, they were just sold to people. And, oh my God.
Durfee's.
Durfee's, yeah, Durfee's. I worked in that restaurant. Lee and the owner of Jersey Dairy, the two of them bought that restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And they needed help. They were old ladies. I was young yet. I did that. And so, okay, they taught me into doing it for 6 weeks, but I was there, what was it, 7 years?
Yeah. I know, a long time, because as long as I remember when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there was not enough money in it, because that's when the donut shops started.
Oh.
That was easier for people. It was something new and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they sold it, got out of it because they didn't. I mean, they had enough on the dairy.
Yeah.
So you've had a lot of jobs, different jobs. You've had a lot of different jobs.
That job, what did I do after that? I didn't want to work in the restaurant before. I had done that before once too. A couple of years, and no, I didn't want to do it. I want to go into a factory.
Oh.
Where we would have all the benefits.
Oh, right.
Oh, Rico did that and should be doing it. And I said, oh, what the heck, I'm going to try it. I don't like that. But I was there for 17 years. That was quality control, so that was...
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
We're on. Yeah. So I want you to tell me your little, when you were a little girl and you're riding in your little goat wagon.
oh, when we went to school,
Yeah.
my brother was holding on to the,
Yeah.
for the goat to steer it, whatever we had to go.
Did it have 4 wheels or 2 wheels? Like, was it like a wagon?
Yeah,
It was a wagon, eh?
it was,
Because
yeah.
I've been trying to look up on the internet, trying to find a picture of one. And the only kind I can find is a wagon, so I wondered if it was a wagon. But anyway, I
Well,
didn't...
not a big.
No, a little
A
toy
little,
wagon.
I guess we just fit in, the three of us.
So
on the
how
shelkie.
old would you be?
Oh, my brother was there, so
Like grade 1 or
he
something?
started, he was in school. No, because he was in school. God, I don't know. That, I could have been 9 or 10, I don't.
That's
Well,
pretty
how
old to
come
be
that-
riding in a goat wagon.
Yeah, but how come he, oh, well, he would have gone to kindergarten, but he. Hold on, I should ask him because
Yeah.
he.
Well, the goat probably knew how to get to school anyway.
Yeah, and then they had to park it, behind it was.
And what did the goat do all day while you were in school?
It was, they had made arrangements that the goat was behind this little store. And it had her heads there behind it, nobody would see it. And that's where the goat and the wagon.
So why did you have to use a goat? Why did you
Well,
why did
because
you go to
that
school
was-
like that? Like why?
Well, that was quite a walk
Oh.
from Riedstra to her degree.
Yeah, it was a couple of kilometers, I guess.
I don't know.
Maybe
how far
3.
It seemed miles and
Yeah,
miles. But, yeah, that was, and there was nothing there, it was a bear. Drove
Yeah.
by, you know, that was the Sloterdijk.
Yeah,
And you felt safer in that thing anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, because it was the slaughterhouse, it was on the one side,
Oh,
we
yeah.
had to go by, and we walked too. That is shouting me, we walked to school. And then later on, after those,
Maybe the
We
reason
got
you
it.
had the wagon was because of them when we were in time to do with being little.
yeah,
Like maybe the youngest ones.
I don't know, I guess they thought it was a good idea. And we were the only ones who went to that school.
Oh yeah.
From Riedstra,
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
Some went to Tietjerk, and some went to Gietjerk. It just depended which part they lived in. The school that Dad went to, that was the school with the Bible. So he went there, and then my mother didn't want us to go to that school, so that's how come we went to her degree. It's kind of crazy though.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, sometimes bad weather, and after that we had bikes. I can't remember really why that was done. Oh no, my brother is 2 years younger than me, so say if he was 6,
Yeah, you'd be
I
about
would
8.
have been 8.
This would have been just before the war started.
No. I,
Or not? No. 34.
I was 6.
Yeah, it'd have to be about 40.
30, I was born 34, 40, the war started, so I was
Oh
6
yes, that's
years-
right. Yeah,
6 years old.
Yeah.
And later on, we got bikes, funny
Yeah.
looking bikes with,
Yeah.
they made it smaller, a bigger bike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they had made up wheels on there that weren't really rubber, no air in them.
Oh no, those were, they had air.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All
Yeah.
right. So then, you don't like dogs, and why is that, do you suppose?
Well, I think because I had to go on the bike to Waterwater.
Yeah, little town down the way, yeah, that
Yeah,
was
no, yeah, I-
Yoakum? Who was it? No, not,
No, that was our grandparents.
Yeah.
Grandma lived there, and we had to bring her meat. I had meat on the back of the bike, and sure, the Germans didn't stop me, but all the dogs ran after me.
Yeah, 'cause they-
I'm still scared of big dogs.
Yeah,
Jesus.
well, they
They
was-
were not even German dogs, they were
No,
just,
dogs,
because
yeah.
there was little farms along the way.
yeah, but why were you bringing the meat? Why was it you on
Because
the
the
bike?
Germans wouldn't stop a little girl.
Yeah,
And that was during the war, and our stepfather, he would slaughter some animal and cut it all up, and he would bring it to people in the village in the middle of the night. They wouldn't know. I think they realized somewhere along the line
Yeah.
who it was, but he never told anybody. And then our grandparents, on my mom's mom lived in Waterwater. Yeah, I don't know why I was picked to do that job. Maybe
you
I
must have been the
thought,
fast one on the bike, maybe.
I don't know, I think they thought that I was the bravest one, but I wasn't. I did do it.
Yeah, no.
And I wasn't really that scared of the Germans because they were stationed at foreign places and they'd be outside. They didn't bother me. It was those dogs.
Yeah.
And when they run after you, you don't know what to do. And you knew that the Germans shouldn't know that I had meat.
No. It's a wonder they didn't figure it out, eh?
They were stupid too.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. And I guess, you were scared of the dogs. You weren't worried about the Germans. And they were all over.
Yeah.
They were stationed in Riedstra, and whoever had the room, they checked that to see if you had a bathroom or a place for some to sleep. And well, we did. I mean, we slept in the attic.
Yes, I remember the attic. And the attics are not fun.
No, and there was mice and everything else.
Yeah. You could see outside up there.
No. The windows were no bigger than this.
No.
2 little windows, and chimney was in between. That's where they smoked the meat in. And then the stove pipes went through there. They smoked a lot of ribs. Oh, they'd be this long. So what would that have been, from a cow?
Yeah, cow probably, maybe a pig, a big pig, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, because cow seems to be too big then.
Cow would be quite big. Could be a sheep or a.
Oh yeah, I know sheep and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Down the Shelky and I wanted to see it. They did that in the shed, so we went in there
To watch him butcher one?
to kill it.
Oh, jeepers.
How they did that. So yeah, I guess we talked them into it because we went into the shed. There, the poor thing, there was a sheep laying, what would you call it, that went like this, and you would cut stuff on it, wood or whatever, but they used it for that sheep.
Oh, yeah, like a, man, they had a name for that, for cutting wood.
Hook.
Yeah, it's a cross cut.
Thing, yeah, and it was
Stand,
on
yeah.
lakes, it was up that high.
Yeah.
And it was dead already.
So you missed the best part?
I guess they didn't, but they
Yeah.
cut the
Blood
throat to
out,
let the blood run out.
Yeah.
And then we saw that at the end of it, we went out.
So did you have sheep for supper? Lamb chops?
I
That
don't,
didn't stop you from eating?
no,
No?
no, and we always had meat. A lot of times we loved it when it was the meatballs, hamburger meatballs.
Yeah, because you didn't know where that came from. No.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
we had lots of meat, we had lots of food, good food.
Yeah.
That was not the same with everybody.
No.
I don't know how, part of that on dad's side, dad's mom and dad, how they fed.
No, it was like 9 or 10
I-
of them.
I've been there, I was during the war, and they'd peel. The boys had to help to peel potatoes, the kids. A pail full of potatoes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then that all would go,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But to get the meat, I know that my stepfather, he would take meat down there. He just put it by the door. I don't know how he did, because you didn't have a storeroom door or
No.
anything. It was just one wooden door, or well, he did it in the dock, so I don't think people had the doors unlocked. Maybe put it outside and knocked on the door.
Yeah, because otherwise the dogs that were chasing you would be
Yeah.
going to the door.
Yeah. It was a different time. It
Yeah.
was a bad time, you were a kid, so you don't
You just make
worry.
do.
That's why little kids shouldn't worry about
No.
things now neither. They should just have
Yeah.
fun, play, and then if they
Yeah.
can't go to school, well, they can't go to school, they can play. I mean, they got so much toys. Nice toys.
Oh, yeah.
We had toys, but not that
Yeah.
many. Our
Yeah.
dad made a baby buggy, a wooden baby buggy. For me, I had a small one. He made one for Tante Sjoukje. Well, that was as big as this table. And we used to put Tante Doet in there. But she was maybe a year old. It wouldn't be when she was just a little baby. And walk around. So instead of playing with a doll, we had a real
The real
baby.
one.
Yeah. But it was a wooden one. Yeah, it even had the hood.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
on it, yeah.
It must have weighed a ton.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because they didn't have heavy wood. It'd probably be, I don't know what kind of wood it was. But that was our father.
Mhm.
He might not make that.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we were over at our grandparents a lot too. They only lived down the road,
Yeah.
a few houses.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was, because after Dad died, Mom had to go to work to feed the 4 kids. Yeah.
Well, who was the aunt and uncle that wanted you always to live with them? Who was that? Which one was that?
Oh yeah, Papa, what's the name? I can't even remember now.
Vigor and Chechen, no?
No.
Not Joachim and Greet, no?
No. They lived in the Riedstra. They never had any kids
Yeah,
of their own.
yeah, those ones, yeah. That would have been your mother's, not your mother's
Actually, he was a stepbrother.
stepbrother?
Yeah. You want to give me a Kleenex on top of the fridge? Yeah. And they had their own house. They had it built. And we used to go there. They only had one. Actually, it was a little bedroom, and it had a bed built on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't move it.
Yeah, not in the wall though.
Not in the wall, no.
They must have
Outside
made-
of
They
the
must
wall.
have made that one just for you. No
Yeah.
doors.
And the upstairs was one piece, but it had a nice floor in it as far as I remember. And I would get a bedroom up there, that would be all mine. Well, that's a stupid thing.
Well, it is kind of weird to try and talk a kid into moving upstairs. I mean, today they might look funny on stuff like that.
Yeah, because it was an attic, but it had a nice,
But I mean, luring a child.
yeah, really, why
do
would you do that? No way did I want to live with them.
Well, I
Too,
thought maybe
because
you
the
did.
reason was too, because, I don't even want to talk about it. They came in and took us out of the house, Mom and where did another go? And it was just us and our stepfather, and he had been drinking. And then I didn't remember how come he found out. We were upstairs sleeping, and he was downstairs drinking and with some of his buddies. And they were noisy. They were telling jokes and laughing, and Tante Sjoukje, she got out. How in the heck she got out? I don't know. But she went to that aunt and uncle who lived at the other end to get the uncle to get us out of the house.
No?
Yeah, should have never happened, but because he would not. Anyway, he got us out of the upstairs window with a ladder. Now where?
Jeepers.
And the heck he got that ladder, I'll never know, in the middle of the night. That was stupid. Anyway,
Yeah.
and that's why they thought, okay, we should have Heska.
Mm-hmm. Just one of the 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because that always seems fair.
Yeah, I know. Ah.
Mm-hmm. Well.
Even and 3.
Oh yeah. I knew the name too, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah. And they lived over here, and then you went like this.
Mm-hmm.
And just before you got onto the main highway there, they built up. Nice.
Okay, one more story. The day when we lived by McGee's, and Tommy and Paul, I guess, and I were outside playing, and we thought, oh my goodness, look at that, there's a waterfall or a fountain on the side of the house with water pouring out, so we're in there drinking water out of that
Was
thing.
it out from the basement?
That was the sump pump, yeah. So you came out, I think we were excited and told you, and you said, holy smokes, get in the house here, and that's the first time and the only time I ever got my mouth washed out with soap. Yeah, we thought, like, wow, look at this, this is great, look at this thing. Had no idea what it was.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, well, yeah, it came out the side of the house of McGee's.
Yeah.
And then just to make that story just a little better, then I always remember when we go to George and Jean's, you know, and they would have party, we play some cards there in the basement, and George would always pee in the sump pump. They didn't have a basement on it, and I thought, thank goodness it wasn't that sump pump that we were taking the water out of.
Yeah.
And also the wash machine dumped in there.
Right.
Yeah. But not
the one but I mean, it could have just been.
Could have
Right?
been.
Yeah. Because
But I still remember getting my mouth washed out with soap.
Did I do
Apple soap.
Tom's mouth too?
I don't know if you did or you might have.
Probably because
Yeah.
otherwise he would have felt bad that I didn't wash
care
it.
about
Yeah.
him.
But I just remember when that thing kicked on thinking, wow, look at this. I thought it was like magic, like here comes this, and it's a big shot of water coming out.
Because
And it looks clear, right?
Sure.
It tasted okay.
Actually, it is clean water. It's ground like pump water.
As long as it doesn't come from some people.
Yeah, I know.
George's house.
Yeah.
There you go.
I could never believe that people used it as a.
Well, yeah, that was, but I mean, yeah. Well, his pumped out into the field drain, but regardless, it's not what you're supposed to do.
No.
But they only had I mean, this is going back a long time. They only had one bathroom and it was upstairs in the house. So, yeah, well, that's a long ways, so. But, yeah, when I found out that's what went on there, I thought, holy smokes.
And then did you start living together?
Yeah, no, not right away. We got, when I quit my job, I ended up getting pregnant from Lee, and then I moved out country too. But Dutch people, they said, okay, you come here. We got married. That was in June probably, and we August. Tomato time. She says that you could, go pick tomatoes or anything. So I was there, and Marikla was one concession over at the farmer, and then on the weekend we came. And, but he made $50 a month.
Ooh.
Oh.
Then, and we didn't want no money, but then when the remainders were done, she says, okay, I talked to the minister, okay, he's fine. What did he have to say? Well, they should charge me $1 a day to be there, and if Marikla stayed there on the weekend, then he should pay $1.
Wow.
So, okay, you figure it out. That was $8
Yeah.
a week, $50 a
Yeah.
month.
You don't get any food.
Not much left.
Yeah.
He had his meals at the farm, but I had it. But So, yeah, then we got married in October the 9th.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Anniversary coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Anniversary coming up then.
Yeah.
In a month.
69 years.
Ooh.
Wow. Wow.
Seems crazy, right?
True.
How long have you been married now?
I was
26.
19.
It's already a long.
And over it, I was still 23.
Yeah.
And he was only here. Was it a week? I don't know. It was a week. He had to have his appendix out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
You know how it is. Glenda Dara?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that can be quite painful as well.
And then he couldn't speak English.
Oh.
He
So-
couldn't speak English, so then they had
And the
to
farmer
go.
doesn't speak Dutch.
And I had to go back with him. They picked me up and then it was in Walsman. You had to go back to the doctor here. And I go, no, I didn't go with him to that doctor. The people came on and they told me they had taken him to the doctor and the appendix and it should come out right away. Before. So then they had been to a store. They were Belgian people, that store. They thought, oh, they popped up.
Uh-huh.
And when they told them what it was, well, he still didn't know. So then they called. Yeah. It was, so I had to die. So then he went to Inwards and Chatham. Then that same night, it was in the middle of the night that the operator died.
Wow.
Dr. Healy was his name when he was laying on the operator. Oh, will you kill me? Yeah. And he was there for that for a week. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hospital in those days.
Yeah. Oh my
And
God.
he paid that. They had to pay the hospital, they had to pay
The doctor.
Yeah?
Really? There was no insurance or anything?
Not.
Actually, it was 2 years later that we found out from somebody else that actually it should have been paid for by the government. What government? We don't know. We don't know.
A
Yeah.
government.
Yeah.
If it was, well, actually the hospital should have.
Yeah.
All right.
No, so he had a big bill
Yeah.
and no money.
And what
Yeah.
happened to the bill?
He paid it off by $10 at the time.
$10 every.
So whenever we had $10, we
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was hard.
Yeah.
But hey, they got paid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
God, yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know. The hospital should have known
Yeah.
Yeah.
where we were at. They were not those people. That was an older couple and the two sons each had a farm. They were not very big. Marikla worked on all three farms. They were not in the government, but their cousin who lived on the road over was in the government.
Mm.
He should have known.
Right.
Maybe we should go and see if we can get that money back now, because with interest over all these
Yeah,
years,
that's
that might
gonna
be
be-
worth a lot of money.
I will not go on my knees, even if it kills me, I'll pay. Well, that's, we did without a lot of things, but it never, did it bother us? No.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want you. I want you to tell me about that story with Dad and the skunk.
And actually, it was full moon that night.
Oh.
That's how come he could see it pretty good. And he walked from where I was to the next section, to the farmer where he was staying. And there was this cute animal. At first he thought it was a cat. He didn't know, but it looked like a cat. And he was walking behind it, and it never moved fast. It just went on slowly. So he thought, that's funny. So he picked up, because it was all gravel roads, picked up a piece of gravel and just threw it, not to hit him, but so he would hear it, the cat, what he thought was a cat. It didn't matter to the cat, but after a while, Dad kept on doing it, and then after a while the cat went into the ditch and back up on the other side. There was no water in it, and he kept walking along ahead of Dad, so he threw it again, but it didn't make no difference. So anyway, he got to the farmer's house, and he tried to tell him about this beautiful animal. He thought was a cat, but he didn't know, but he had a hard time telling him that what it was. And finally, when it got through to them that it was a skunk, they just laughed their heads off. Your dad didn't know why they were laughing, but he figured, well, it must have been funny, but that's what it was. He could have been really sprayed all over the place, but he was lucky. Oh,
No kidding.
yeah, the farmer told that story a lot of times. The same as me when I was here that first week we were already in the house. We were in the field hoeing. And then they had a rooster out there, and that thing was just going. So of course I had to do the same thing. Well, here comes that rooster. And Shirley and I both, we flew over the fence. And the farmer was apparently watching all this while he told that story all over the countryside. He thought it was so funny. Well, I never made that noise again. Yeah, no, it was funny, but we were scared because I thought he's going to pick us from behind.
Shock you.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Anyway, that's the end of that. Hier had in een wandelwagentje. En in mijn eigen hier, dat zo'n mooi wandelbaantje. En dan hier een rijstek en hin, dat wie altijd een soort geblokten. Hier om haar heen. Ja. En toen ron ik mij die binnenwijn. Het rennen er mij en hoe harder ik ron. Vond ze prachtig. En toen voelde we. Ja, en dat kan ik me nou zo goed herinneren. Ik kan mezelf rennen achter dat wijntje, maar doet erin. Ja, ik hier altijd doe. Ja, wel dat sinds ik ben ik wel eens. Ik kan me net alles natuurlijk eens herinneren, maar een hele prutte dingen. Mijn hele leven kan ik zo wel nageven. You're not taping me, are you? Yes, you are. Zomaar. Ja, dat ben ik hier on filming. Ja, that you're not filming me.
Alrighty.
Yeah, is that enough?
Is it enough? You tell me.